Hey guys, Jeremy here with TacFix. So if you're anything like me, you've owned Glocks for a while, but you pretty much had them in a stock configuration. Well, today we're going to take a look at what components you should be replacing and what kind of changes you can make to build that custom Glock of your dreams. So I'm going to show you how to take this and turn it into this. Glocks are definitely known for their reliability, but the Glock Perfection tagline is a bit of an overstatement. There's no arguing that Glock is a solid platform, and able to perform extremely well in its stock configuration, but there's always room for improvement though. One of the great things about the popularity of the Glock system is that there is a large variety of aftermarket parts for your pistol. Over the years, third-party manufacturers have made replacement parts for every single square inch of this gun, and today it's possible to build even a complete Glock without a single Glock OEM part. The options to modify your handgun range from mechanical to purely aesthetic. Today I'm going to review the modifications I've made to my Glock 19 and discuss some of the replacement parts on the market for you to add to your next build. Stay tuned for the future videos where we will review these various components in more depth, and also make sure to stay tuned for the end of this video for more information for that giveaway on a pair of XS sights. Now when it comes to sights on your pistol, things have come a long way since the blacked out all-metal version that came on your grandpa's 1911. There are two main routes you can go when replacing these polymer sights on your Glock. You can either go with replacement irons or a red dot optic system. With iron sights, you just need to make sure that basically they're compatible with your model of pistol, and then either have a gunsmith install them, or pick up a sight pusher tool like the NC Star tool I reviewed a few weeks ago, and go ahead and do that job yourself. This is a great beginner task to do on your Glock, and is a great way to get into gunsmithing for yourself. Now there are three set of sights I want to look at today. Now for these sights we have the XS Sights DXT Big Dot Night Sights. We also have the Trijicon Bright and Tough Suppressor Night Sights. Both of these are going to be suppressor height. And then we also have the Vickers Tactical Battlesight from Wilson Combat. The XS Sights DXT Big Dot Night Sights are designed for defensive shooting and comfortable concealed carry. One of the things I really like about this is the really big white dot that makes this very quick to pull up. That large front sight really improves the speed that you can acquire your target, and that's one of the reasons this is one of my favorite sights on here. The large V-shaped notch in the rear sight also provides a really large field of view for greater target identification, so you're not boxed in like with a lot of other U-shaped sights in the back. Now one great thing about the Big Dot line of sights from XS is you can get these with or without tritium, so you can get these as just a plain white or with tritium to make them a good night sight as well. Next up we have the Trijicon Bright and Tough Suppressor Night Sights. Now anyone very familiar with the firearms world knows that Trijicon is one of the biggest names in sights and optics out there. These sights are housed in a metal body, and the inner tritium vial is cushioned with silicone to give a super shock resistant design. Another great thing about this particular design is that the green lamps are warranted for 12 years, which is one of the longest iron sight warranties in the market. And then last up we have the Vickers Elite Battlesight by Wilson Combat. This sight features a very deep U-notch in the back and has a concave non-reflective rear blade with 40 lines per inch serrations on the back to prevent glare. One of the other neat features about this sight is that there are set screws built in so that you can really clamp those down and allows it to securely stay in place. The back shelf on here also makes a really good platform for doing one-handed manipulations and practicing racking your slide with one hand. The Vickers Elite Battlesight also comes in a couple different options. You can get it with or without the tritium dot in the rear of the sight. You can also get various front sight options, which include just a simple black serrated one, a green or red fiber optic, a tritium option, and a no-dull gold bead. Now me personally, I'd never run any of my pistols without a set of backup irons. But the red dot market has really come along in the last few years, and if you want an electronic option on your handgun, you no longer have to stick to full-size pistol and competition style mounts. The red dot market has miniaturized over the last few years, and now they can even be used on conceal and carry pistols. One of the really good things about a red dot sight on your pistol is that acquiring a target is also super easy. With a little practice, putting that dot on this red dot on the target is so much simpler than the old way of focusing on your backup irons. And quickly you can get very proficient at it. To mount a red dot on your pistol, you can either have a cut done in the slide by a local mill shop, or you can get one of several dovetail mounts that are on the market, like this one up here from Outer Impact. This mount slides into the existing dovetail at the rear of your slide and has holes drilled in it to accept the various different styles of mounts for the different red dots on the market. When choosing a dovetail mount, make sure to check for compatibility with your red dot and that mount, because not all of them have the same screw pattern. Now, the pros of a red dot are potentially faster target acquisition, increased ability to make longer range shots, and they can be a lot easier on aging eyes. So if you're getting up in years and you're just finding those irons a little bit harder to get on target, definitely look into a red dot option. Now, the cons on these are going to be pretty obvious. Obviously, these do use batteries, so batteries are going to die on you, but many of these have battery life expectancies ranging in thousands of hours, so it's not something that's going to have to be done frequently. This also represents a new skill set to train, and it's going to require good fundamentals. For newer shooters with less recoil control, every shot can result in a fresh hunt for that dot, so this is going to be something you want to have good fundamentals in place before switching over to it. Now, the particular red dot that I have on my slide here today is going to be the Vortex Venom. This particular red dot comes in either a 3 or a 6 MOA dot. It has multiple anti-reflective coatings and is fully parallax free. It also has 10 different brightness settings, so you can adjust this to your liking. It comes with a Picatinny and Weaver mount, so if you want to throw this on a rifle as well, you can do that. And like with all Vortex optics, it comes with a lifetime warranty. So this is definitely a great option if you're looking at an inexpensive red dot to try this out. The next area to look into customizing your firearm is going to be on the slide here. Now, while you can keep your slide stock and still have a really custom piece with all the other work that you might be doing to it, having work done on the slide really makes a statement. And apart from having the mill work done to add the red dot, a variety of other cuts can be made to really enhance your OEM Glock slide. With this particular slide here, we have an example of a custom job from Cline Tactical out of Arizona. This mill job features ports at the front end and on both the top and sides. These cuts add a great look to the slide and also lighten it for a faster cyclic rate and potentially reduced recoil. Although any reduced recoil will be felt a lot more if the barrel is also ported, which I do not have on either of the barrels in this particular build. Now, another option is that you can purchase a ready-made slide from quite a few different manufacturers out on the market. Ones like this EDC Reptile slide from Norsso. As the name implies, it has a very reptilian look. The forward serrations are designed to look scale-like and provide an excellent grip no matter how you grab the slide. I'd have to say my favorite aspect of the design, though, is the really cool looking eye cut here on the slide. Also, you can get all of the Norsso slides in a standard black nitride or a distressed black nitride coating, and they can optionally be cut for an RMR like on this example. Now, the next thing I'd like to look at with customizing your Glock is going to be the trigger. It's no secret that the spongy and somewhat inconsistent trigger on a Glock could really use some work. Luckily, there are a lot of great trigger options out on the market that range from complete triggers to reworked triggers featuring OEM parts. With any replacement trigger, there's a big opportunity to get much more consistent and reliable trigger pull. Of the reason to replace the stock trigger, probably the two most popular are to adjust pre-travel and to lighten your trigger pull weight. Basically, pre-travel is any amount of trigger movement from the trigger's initial resting position up until the point that the sear breaks and causes the gun to fire. Shortening this can lead to more consistency and thus faster, more accurate follow-up shots, all of the things being equal. Now, with trigger pull weight, this is one area that can divide a lot of people. There are strong advocates on both sides of the debate on whether or not you should lighten the pull weight of your trigger. With a typical Glock trigger, featuring a 5.5 pound connector, you'll typically run 6 to 7 pounds for the pull weight. My personal preference is to have my handgun triggers pull in about the 4 to 4.5 pound range. It's important to note though that until you've really mastered the stock trigger on your firearm, you should not look into this modification. The combination of a lighter trigger and a lack of training can really lead to safety issues, and you should always put safety at the top of your priority list. The first trigger that we're going to look at today is the Hyve Monarch trigger. This trigger is a replacement for the trigger shoe and safety as well as the trigger bar. This trigger is fully adjustable for pre-travel and for reset via the Allen screws on the front and back of the trigger shoe. The trigger and safety are machined from solid aluminum bar stock and are available in 7 different colors, so you can really mix and match this to make it suited to your particular build. The next trigger that we're going to look at is the Haley Skimmer trigger by GlockTriggers.com. For those of you who prefer to go with all OEM parts, this is manufactured using 100% OEM parts. All metal parts on this are going to be polished to a mirror finish. This particular package includes a replaced trigger and trigger bar, and the trigger and trigger bar have been modified for reduced pre-travel and is non-adjustable. It also has a replacement trigger housing with ejector, a minus connector, or an optional 5.5 pound connector if you so choose. You'll also get an upgraded trigger spring, firing pin safety spring, firing pin safety, and spring cups. This is also designed to be 100% drop-in and is designed for carry use. And it's probably the most popular trigger setup from GlockTriggers.com. Now the last trigger we have today is another trigger from GlockTriggers.com. This is going to be the Bob Vogel Competition trigger. The Vogel Competition trigger has all of the metal parts polished to a mirror finish as well. Now with this particular package you're going to get the replacement trigger and trigger bar, a replacement trigger housing with ejector, 3.5 pound connector, trigger spring, firing pin safety plunger and spring, a hex tool for adjustment of over travel, new spring cups, and then several reduced power firing pin springs. And that's one thing that makes this different than the Haley Skimmer trigger. You're going to get a 4, 4.5, and 5 pound firing pin spring, and those are all made by Wolf. Now because this does allow you to reduce the power, GlockTriggers.com does say that this is only intended as a competition use trigger system. They do not suggest this for carry. Alright, so the next thing we want to look at is barrels. And barrels are definitely something that a lot of people do replace when they go for a custom pistol build. So the first one we have to look at here is the AlphaWolf by Lone Wolf. This is a certified stress relief 416 stainless steel barrel. It's button rifled and has a 3-stage honed bore. The finish on here is a salt bath nitride, and the steel in the barrel is heat treated to a Rockwell scale of 40 to 42, and the salt bath nitride increases the Rockwell hardness up to about 60. Now a couple neat features of this that make this a good pick is that this is machined to very tight tolerances but still will fit all generations of Glock. Lone Wolf also states that the fluting on this is designed to create a path for heat and debris to escape, and you can get this barrel both threaded or unthreaded. Another great option is going to be this barrel from Grey Ghost Precision. Now for those that are into custom Glocks, this is going to be certainly a name that's as well known as Lone Wolf, as they produce excellent barrels. This one also comes in both threaded and unthreaded. It's a 416R stainless steel as well, and is rated as a match grade drop-in. The final dimensions on this are within 3/1000ths for consistency, and it does meet all SAMI specs for a 9mm match chamber. Grey Ghost also lists that this has a proprietary twist rate, which helps to stabilize the 9mm round. This barrel is also compatible with both Gen 3 and Gen 4 Glocks. So why would you want to replace your barrel? Now there are a lot of pros to the OEM Glock barrel, but there are also a lot of cons to it. It does not come in a threaded option, and it also has polygonal rifling, which can create some issues. Now if you're going to choose an aftermarket barrel, there are a few reasons to do that. Now when it comes to replacing your barrel, the OEM Glock barrel is going to outshoot most shooters. So why would you, if you're not looking for more accuracy, why would you go with one of the aftermarket barrels? Well, there are 3 really good reasons to replace your Glock barrel. First, since Glock has polygonal rifling, They don't suggest shooting lead or unjacketed bullets. Another one is going to be, like we said, to get a threaded barrel, either for use with a suppressor or putting a compensator on your Glock. Since Glock does not offer that as an OEM option, definitely going with an aftermarket barrel is going to be the way to accomplish that. And then the last reason is going to be aesthetics. Glock only has one particular coating for their barrels, so there aren't a lot of options. Unless you want a black barrel, that's all you're going to be able to get from Glock. With all the aftermarket options out there, you can get titanium nitrided, you can get uncoated stainless steel, and a host of other options. So sky's the limit with different colorings. And you can also even Cerakote your barrels. Now the next thing we're going to look at here is adding a Magwell to your pistol. Now you can see here on the frame for my Glock 19, I have an Agency Arms Magwell. Some of the reasons I like this one is it's very slim, so it's great for conceal and carry, whether you like to carry inside the waistband or outside the waistband. It's available for all Glock Gen 3 and Gen 4 models, and it's made out of a good 6061 aluminum with a Type 3 hard coat. Now this one is another thing that was coated by our friends over at Cline Tactical, and they did a great job matching this to the slide and to the light. Now while we've got the frame out here, another thing we want to talk about is the finish on your frame. Glock has had a few different grip patterns over the years, and while they're all aggressive enough to allow you to get a good grip, because they don't fit everyone's preference, there are several other options that have come out on the market. But personally, my favorite method is stippling or laser etching your frame. Nowadays, there's a lot of companies offer laser etching and engraving surfaces, and they do a variety of designs and patterns. And really, the sky's the limit with how you can dress up your gun's frame. The good thing about this type of laser etching is that they not only add to the aesthetics of your firearm, but they also really enhance the grip of your gun and give you some different options over the standard grip that comes on a Glock. The next item to consider is going to be a weapons-mounted light. If you build a conceal and carry pistol, it's no secret that many civilian encounters can and do often happen at night. So naturally, seeing your target is a prerequisite for hitting it. The light I have on this build is an Olight PL2 Valkyrie. It's got solid aluminum construction, a 1200 lumen maximum output, which is awesome, and it can really brighten up even the darkest room. It's got an ambidextrous button design, where you can do momentary on by pressing and holding either button, and then a constant on with a single press of either button. And then it also includes a strobe effect if you press down both buttons at the same time. This particular light is also compatible with the Glock accessory rail and a 1913 Picatinny. Now the last thing that we want to consider on here is going to be your paint job. And a paint job isn't just for good looks, it can also be functional. If you're getting your slide cut for a micro red dot or any other types of cuts like you see on the project slide, you're going to need to get your slide recoated. Now there are a lot of options out there. Nitride and DLC, as well as others, are available, and those are going to provide excellent durability and a low friction coefficient to aid in the function of the gun. But those two particular coatings and many others may only come in one or a few limited color options. What I've chosen to do for my gun is going to be Cerakote, because not only does it offer quite a few different color options, it also is extremely durable. Now, when I was considering doing a custom Glock, the first thing that came to my mind is what paint jobs I'd want to do, because this is really something where you can make this your own. Now, when I got my slide and other parts in the mail, I have to say I was very happy with the way this turned out, and I would not hesitate to go back to Cline Tactical for more work in the future. So if you guys are looking to get some Cerakote, definitely check them out. Alright guys, so that was my look at how to customize your Glock. Now with today's video, we're also doing an exciting giveaway. I've teamed up with XS Sights, and we're going to be giving away a set of their DXT Big Dot sights. Now to enter, what you're going to want to do is head over to tacfix.com/contests. There you're going to sign up for our newsletter. You'll find that over on the left-hand side of the page. All we need is your email address, and that's all you got to do to enter into the contest. But on the contest page, you'll also notice there's other opportunities for bonus entries. And as of today, with the posting of this video, the contest goes live, and we're going to run this until next Tuesday at noon. And I'm going to pick a winner, and then we'll announce it on next week's Thursday video. So I hope you guys really enjoyed the video today. If you did, definitely hit that like button. Also, consider subscribing and don't forget to hit that little bell notification icon. That way you can be notified every time we put out a new video. And once again, thank you guys so much for watching today. Your support is always so much appreciated, and have a good night, guys.